Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever had one of those moments where you wondered if you're really truly in control of your own life? It's a huge question, right? One that's bugged people for centuries. And today, we're going to unpack it using one of the most powerful stories ever told.
So here's the big question for our explainer today. Are you the one writing your story, or are you maybe just a character in a script that Destiny's already finished?
And honestly, there is no better case study for this fight between fate and free will than Shakespeare's dark masterpiece, Macbeth. This is so much more than just a play. It's a deep dive into that razor-thin line where a prediction becomes a permission slip for our absolute worst impulses.
So let's start by building the case for fate. You know, the idea that maybe Macbeth never really stood a chance. Could he have just been a pawn in a game played by forces way bigger and scarier than himself? Right, it all kicks off with this incredibly spooky encounter on the heath. Now listen to the way the witches talk. It's like a chant, it's rhythmic, it's powerful. That triple all hail makes it sound less like they're just guessing the future and more like they're declaring something that is absolutely going to happen. And we have to get our heads around the context here. For Shakespeare's audience back in the 1600s, this wasn't just some Halloween fun. No way. Witchcraft was seen as a real, terrifying, diabolical threat. Think of it less like a fairy tale and more like a force that could literally tear their whole world apart. So when those witches speak, you better believe the audience felt a very real shiver down their spine. But here's the crucial twist. Shakespeare is way too smart for a simple, the devil made me do it story. He suggests the prophecy isn't like planting a seed in an empty garden. Nope. It's like striking a match in a room that's already filled with gunpowder. And just look at how Macbeth reacts. The text says he starts. Now that's not just him being surprised. It's a jolt, a flash of recognition. See, he's not scared of what the witches are saying. He's scared because he hears his own secret thoughts spoken out loud. The prophecy just gave a voice to the ambition that was already bubbling deep inside him. Okay, but that's only half the story. A prophecy is just words, right? It doesn't actually do anything until someone makes a choice to act on it. So let's flip the script and look at how Macbeth's own ambition becomes the engine of this entire tragedy. This right here is the turning point. On one side, you've got the witch's words, this external, supernatural suggestion. That's Team Fate. But on the other side, you have Macbeth's own mind, his internal, human, and, this is the key, moral decision about what comes next. This is where free will storms onto the stage. And here it is, the smoking gun, straight from his own mouth. This does not sound like a guy being mind-controlled by destiny. This is a man actively choosing to step into the shadows. He knows his desires are black and deep, and he makes a conscious, absolutely chilling choice to go for it. The language he uses is everything. He's giving commands, hide your fires, let not light see. These aren't the words of a victim. These are the words of a man grabbing the steering wheel, trying to shut down his own conscience so he can seize what he wants. So here's the psychological trick Macbeth plays on himself, and it's something we can all do. He takes this prophecy not just as a prediction, but as a permission slip. He uses fate as an excuse, a justification to do the unthinkable. And in that moment, he becomes the author of his own doom. So we've looked at both sides. Was he pushed by some supernatural force, or did he jump headfirst into that abyss all on his own? What do you think? It's a tough one, isn't it? So where do we land on this? Is he a tragic victim, a puppet whose strings were pulled by destiny, or is he the architect of his own spectacular downfall? This question has been debated for over 400 years. But the absolute genius of Shakespeare is that he refuses to give us an easy out. He doesn't say it's fate or free will. The real tragedy, the heart of the play, is born from the devastating collision of the two. Let's break down how it works. Think of it like a chain reaction. The prophecy is the spark. It hits the ambition that was already there, and boom, recognition. That recognition leads to a choice, a conscious, immoral action. And that action is what forges the final link, turning the tragedy into something that is completely self-authored. They aren't two separate forces. They're links in one single, unbreakable chain. So why does this play, written centuries ago, still get under our skin today? Well, it's because this whole question of choice
It isn't just Macbeth's problem, it's our problem. It's a question we all have to face.
Now, back then, the original audience probably saw this as a pretty clear warning. Don't you dare give up your moral responsibility to some tempting outside force. For us today, though, it hits a little differently. It feels like a masterclass in psychological self-deception, a warning about how easily we can trick ourselves into believing our own selfish desires are actually our destiny.
If you take one thing away from all this, let it be this idea. Fate, or, just life and circumstance, might open a door for us. It might present an opportunity, good or bad, but it never, ever forces us to walk through it. That part, well, that's always our choice.
And so, the play leaves us with that final, haunting thought. It holds up a mirror and asks us to look at our own lives, our own ambitions. Fate might be opening doors all around you, but the real question is, which ones are you choosing to walk through? And the answer to that doesn't just define Macbeth's story, it defines ours too.